Today's rundown is led by President Trump's cabinet meeting where he addressed Iran, security in Washington, and the administration's priorities right here at home. Alongside a White House policy push to fuel demand for skilled American workers and expand apprenticeships across the country. Now, from the Pool Report, President Trump, he took questions during today's cabinet meeting. It began at 12:52 p.m. Eastern and made clear the administration intends to maintain a National Guard presence in Washington, D.C., with Pete Hegseth indicating a planned summer surge. On foreign policy, the president said that no country would control the Strait of Hormuz, stated that Oman must comply with international norms, and reiterated that Iran cannot be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. He also said that sanctions on Iran would not be eased until proper behavior is observed, and noted that gas prices would in fact come down once the conflict ends. The president also commented on the recent shooting near the White House, acknowledging the risks that come with the office, and said that additional Gulf state participation in the Abraham Accords could affect the Iran negotiations. Now, earlier in the cabinet meeting, from the Pool Report, President Trump, he praised recent election results in Texas and elsewhere as fantastic, and pointed to progress on drug prices as potential political strength heading right into the midterms. He said Iran is negotiating on fumes and suggested that further action remains possible if needed. The president also gave Tulsi Gabbard a warm send-off, calling her a terrific person. And cabinet members, they wore red hats marking America's 250th anniversary, while Vice President J.D. Vance and Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche discussed anti-fraud efforts. Senator Marco Rubio said the president prefers negotiation and noted that some progress and interest from Iran, and again underscored that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. President Trump also announced that work on the reflecting pool is now 70% complete, with a goal of finishing before July 4th, and water that will be, in his words, American blue. The White House said that President Trump's policies are fueling demand for skilled American workers as more young Americans turn toward the trades. And according to the White House, 60% of Generation Z plans to pursue skilled trade work in 2026. While the administration is targeting more than 1 million new registered apprentices. The Trump administration also highlighted expanded 529 savings use for trade certifications, broader Pell Grant support for skilled trades, and more than $229 million in Labor Department grants for apprenticeship growth, and a policy barring illegal aliens from taxpayer-funded workforce programs. And according to the daily guidance, the president's Wednesday schedule, it began with executive time at about 8 a.m., followed by the 11 a.m. cabinet meeting in the cabinet room, which was, of course, covered by the White House press pool. The president also had 2 afternoon policy meetings in the Oval Office that were scheduled at 3 and 4 p.m. Both were closed to the press. Now, from the morning Pool Report, the cabinet meeting was identified as the president's only public event on the schedule today, with additional updates to follow if needed. Now, in the next Pool note, reporters gathered at the briefing room doors. That was right ahead of the cabinet meeting, and the White House indicated the meeting would be live streamed for public viewing. Later, the White House announced that a lunch lid was in effect until 2:40 p.m., marking a routine midday pause in official activity. And of course, looking back to last night, the White House press pool was informed of a travel photo lid. That was at 7:36 p.m. last night, signaling no further public events for the remainder of the evening. Now, taken together, the past 24 hours show an active Trump White House focused on national security, economic strength, workforce development, and a full slate of internal policy work. And that's the latest from the White House. Now, let's turn to the rest of the top stories that are shaping the day.